Hi, my name is Abigail Fernandez, and you may not have seen her, but you definitely heard her in the halls everywhere. Most people come up here and say they would struggle to summarize whoever they're introducing in under 1 minute, but I wouldn't, because even with an hour, it would be impossible for me to begin to find a way to tell you how much she means to me and the senior class. Our friendship began in COVID, and thank God it did, because her saturated indie phase and my emo phase was certainly something that should not have been seen out in public, but we moved past that time together. We bonded over tormenting our teachers by hiding in trash cans and saying some of the most nonsensical things. Some of you may remember Prego Oregano. As we've grown together, she has kept that desire to lighten people's day, though she has found a more channeled way to do so as vice president of Pep Club. But outside of her accomplishments, at her core, she is the most genuine, caring person I know. She's been my best friend since I can remember, someone who keeps a smile on my face at all times, and the most hardworking person I know. Please welcome Claire Elise Dyer.
Anyone who has ever had the pleasure of being in the same class as me knows that I like to provide comedic relief during academically challenging times. My fondest memory from 8th grade was when I decided to insert myself into a giant rolling trash can and get Abigail to roll me into Miss Carroll's science class, where I then popped out and started screaming. I wish I could say that Miss Carroll was shocked, but she was not. During my freshman year English class, I decided it would be a good idea to slip out of my chair and crawl on the floor for about 10 minutes until I had reached just under Dr. Davis's desk. I jumped out from under the desk and started screaming, as I like to do. Now, this was an already high-energy class because right before this moment, my dear friend MC had just popped a stolen stress ball all over herself and the carpet. Tech support was also in the room fixing the broken projector when this happened. Maybe my comedic relief was not actually necessary during English class that day. During my sophomore year, I found my favorite class to act a fool in, Miss Dunlap's Honors Accelerated Chemistry class. This was the class in which I ended up getting banned from standing on chairs and desks. All of these types of stories added up have gained me a sort of reputation at this school. Was it the way I acted during freshman year geometry class, or my entirety of sophomore year, or the nickname Rampage my behavior has gotten me in Mr. Sohn's AP Calculus class? Now, you may be wondering after hearing all these stories, does this girl get any work done, and do her teachers even like her? Surprisingly, the answer to that question is mostly yes. During Honors Accelerated Chemistry, Miss Dunlap probably considered my work ethic to be, as she likes to say, lackluster, which it most definitely was. But what I slowly started realizing was that I was actually interested in what we were learning, so I went out of my way to put in extra effort. I decided to take AP Chemistry my junior year, and it quickly became my favorite class that I have ever taken. I also truly learned from this class what works for me. After all, this is the class where Miss Dunlap started making me run stairs before and during all of our tests so that I could stay focused on the task at hand. I would also like to add that I discovered I cannot take tests with shoes on my feet because it bothers me too much. Much to my surprise, these methods actually worked and kept me focused for a solid 20 minutes as opposed to my regular 5-minute maximum. But do not worry, even though I had become a better student, I was still Claire Dyer. I frequently did the worm in the middle of the room whenever I got bored and asked everyone in the room strange and unnecessary questions until the end of the period. One thing I wish more people knew about me is that I am just as serious as I am unserious. I realize that my energy can be a bit intense for some people, but this is the way I am. Not only am I loud and high energy, but I am also deeply caring, attentive when I need to be, and a dedicated student. Being chaotic and funny, but dedicated, is the best way for me to be. If I can still be serious when I need to be and have fun at the same time, then why wouldn't I? My late uncle once wrote in his journal, "I am a thinker with scattered thoughts. I have deep emotions and ideas, but most of the time I express them in the many things I love with funny bursts of energy and entertainment." So I leave you with this advice. Do not be worried about being too much for others because you get the best work done when you are most comfortable. And to my wonderful class of 2025, thank you guys for allowing me to be myself, even if I annoy you with the animal noises that I make during class, especially you, Ashol. Thank you.